And we are now live on the internet.
Hooray! Finally, the internet. I've always dreamed about it.
Yeah.
I've heard great things.
Well, you heard wrong.
I had a feeling.
The cause of
Hooray.
and solution to all of our problems.
It's alcohol.
It is alcohol. It's also the internet because I didn't know how to make good meatballs until I looked up a recipe.
Mm.
Like, there's a little bit more than just balling up meat. If you want them, like, tasty. But, like, that's what a meatball is, right? It's just balled up meat. But, like, you gotta add some spices and stuff in there. And I don't use spices because I'm always afraid I'm going to screw it up and overpower the taste of something. So, there you go. Recipes on the internet now. There you go.
Finally, the future is now.
The future is here. Yes, exactly. I was gonna talk about something as an opening topic, but I don't remember what it was.
It was West Virginia.
I mean, that was a joke, but yeah, we could talk about Country Roads Take Me Home. To the place.
I belong.
Yeah, exactly.
West Virginia.
That's basically
That's all I've been doing. That's all I've been doing around the house. Is like every now I'll just be like in the kitchen, like washing up one of the cat's plates, and then there's go West Virginia, and then walk away. That's it. I'll just say West Virginia.
Or you do the like build up to it where you're just kind of mumbling to yourself. You're like, West Virginia, and your cat's like, ah.
Oh man.
Yeah, that's the part. That's the thing. Oh, I wish Fallout 76 didn't sound like it was terrible. Because I wanted to like it, but I couldn't bring myself to
find out.
buy
I
it.
have a copy now, so. Hooray. As you can see, it's still sealed, so that's probably not getting open anytime soon.
You can get a copy of that game in Europe for apparently like $15 now.
Jesus.
It's stupid. It's absolutely ridiculous how much that's fallen. But like not here in Canada. Like it's still upper. It's about what, 30 to 40 in there, depending where you go. It's still a little too much for me personally.
I mean, it dropped at least half price, so
it did drop half price, yeah. Maybe on the sale here. My thing is that if I'm going to be spending $40 to $50, I want 4 copies so I can give 3 out to friends. And then I'll have people to play with. Then that price point I can get behind, where it's like almost a full price title, but I also get to give it to 3 other people so we can play together the way it sounds like it's meant to be played. Because it doesn't sound like there's a whole lot there single player to do. So, yeah, that's my thing anyway. That's the way I would play it. What did you get it on? Xbox?
Yeah, I got a Xbox One X.
Oh, okay.
So
gotcha.
I managed to. I won it in a raffle, so I'm like, all right, I'm not paying full price for any of these things, and I don't have to. Hooray!
Yeah, perfect. That is definitely the way to go.
I just had to wait like 3 months.
Yeah, you know what you don't have to wait 3 months for? The top-down perspective, because we're live right now.
Oh, shit!
To talk about some video games. It's December 20th at about 10:30 p.m. our time. My name is Paul.
I'm John.
And let's do the quick rundown of the thing we have been playing, I guess. We'll start with you, because last time we talked, you didn't play a whole lot of Smash, or like you stopped. Probably didn't want to get burned out right away, I'm assuming.
No, I've just been busy.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, played more Smash. I actually ran a tournament for it last night.
Okay, how did that go?
Mostly good. We had one round where there was just too much lag, so we couldn't actually really. We had to like do some weird stuff to get around through correctly. And the winner ended up being the laggy person, so they had to disconnect. They booted themselves out of the tournament, so I felt bad for that.
Yeah.
But when that online works, it works real good. But there are easily times where it gets bad.
Sure. Yeah.
Also, I was in spectator mode and got booted out at least twice for a communication error. And guess what? You can't rejoin once you've been booted out of.
Oh, great. Yeah.
So it's great running a tournament where you're just kind of sitting looking at 4 little logos like moving towards and away from each other, hoping to God that the match actually ends correctly.
Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of a bummer. Like, and it's weird too, because it really seems to be hit or miss when you're playing online. I've had great success with some people, and I have had garbage success with a couple of others, but like that changes from time to time too.
It's pretty much how I remember Brawls Online being at the beginning. So
okay.
Because
So,
Brawls Online got real bad by the end.
yeah. I hope that doesn't happen here because I like playing that game with people, and that's the easiest way for me to do it.
Well, supposedly this one's peer-to-peer, so theoretically it won't.
How did like the tournament stuff work for you though? Like in general, the weird lobby system and having people in the like spectate and waiting room and all that sort of stuff.
I mean, the lobby system is basically like most other fighting games use now. Like Skullgirls uses a similar system. Street Fighter does. Dragon Ball does. So it was kind of easy to set up, more or less.
Yeah, just kind of give the code out to people.
Yeah, well, what I did was I left it like publicly listed, and then just left like one extra slot. Like you could set how many people can enter the room. So I basically set one extra over the 4 players I needed in case people came in. Because, hey, they actually put a kick feature in. So really helpful to have.
Yeah, that's really cool.
So honestly, it went better than I expected. Except for that one round. But like the matches were really good. Mostly not lagged out. We're gonna run another tournament in January, but it's gonna be like proper 1v1 no item style. So that's gonna be more of a like super skill, no random luck clause. So we'll see how that goes.
Sure, yeah. I think you'll get a different type of player for that too. The 2 different types don't usually play together for obvious reasons.
Also true.
Because it's frustrating when you're one of those super skill players and you're getting screwed by that stupid item that just takes you out of the fucking game because you got hit by it. Yeah. So last week after we did our show, we tried a couple rounds or whatever with Sean, and it seemed to work for the most part, I would say. We had a few like hiccups here and there, but randomly you would get disconnected out of nowhere.
Yeah, so, and I still don't know why that happened. I tried testing
weird.
it. I tried testing it like the night before the tournament and a couple days before. If I host the room, it never happens.
Weird.
I got booted out of spectator mode twice out of maybe like 50 matches.
Yeah, that's kind of like par for the course when you're talking anything online, really. You're going to have some hiccups, so.
And like anytime I've hosted a match, like I never got booted out of the match, so it was really weird.
Yeah, that is weird. I blame Sean. Like we were saying earlier, everything's Sean's fault anyway, so that's probably his fault somehow. So I guess I'll check in with you. The roster, how much of it do you have unlocked? Who's your go-tos? Who do you not play?
I'm around 50, I think, right now, close to that. So still not everyone unlocked. We went to a Christmas party last week.
Oh, yeah.
Or not last, or like Sunday, rather. And they unlocked a bunch of characters for me, so that kind of boosted my roster up by at least a dozen.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, I think right now I'm sitting at around 50, and I am mainly still using my guys from Brawl and Smash 4, which are Falcon and Ike.
Sure.
But I do want to mess around with Richter. I have not officially tried him out yet.
Sure, yeah. What do you think of Duck Hunt? Because I think
they're all right.
Yeah.
They're goofy. Like they're definitely fun to play, but like when I'm in try hard mode, they're probably not the best for me to use because I don't think I have the grip on them correctly.
Yeah. Movability like is pretty big when you're actually trying, so
yeah,
they don't really have that.
They're fun though. I like them.
Yeah.
I can see why people like to play as them.
Nice. Are there any that you just like played and you're like, fuck this character, dude? Like, I don't want to play this.
I kind of want to learn Incineroar, but I don't like his recovery. That's the thing. That's my hang up on him right now.
Yeah, you can get screwed for sure. But man, he is fun when you're not like flailing around anyway.
Here, I'll get you an official count. 55, 56, 57, 59. I have 60 characters right now.
Nice.
So cool. I basically have like another 10-ish to get.
Yeah, that's really not that bad even. So, cool. Okay. I kind of stopped playing myself just a little bit because I started to get a little burnt out on it, but
that's
I still like
fair.
That World of Light stuff, and I don't want to burn myself out for when people want to play and we're doing a multiplayer thing because that's what that game excels at, and I don't want to be the one that's like, oh, fuck this thing, I've been playing too much of it.
Hate this damn game. Why am I playing it?
Yeah, exactly. Cool. Anything else?
That's pretty much it. Just my usual mobile game stuff. Sega Heroes, which is still driving me nuts.
I actually started playing Sega Heroes.
No.
It has some bullshit in it.
Oh yeah, no, that's my issue with it. But here's the thing. So since I've been playing it, they rebalanced everything, but they made it harder.
Great.
So the fact that I started when I did is the only saving grace I have for this right now. Reese tried starting like a week ago.
Yeah.
And she already deleted the game. She was just like, no, this is not fun.
Where does she get hung up? Because I bet it's around World 3 or 4, wherever I am. And it just seems...
World 2.
Oh, she got even more unlucky than I did then.
Yeah, it did not treat her well.
Because I'm in World 3, or like at the end of World 3, and I fucking hate my life.
So, like, how many character slots would you say there are? Like, character, like, collectible icons on the map where you've been so far?
Leftover, maybe 3.
There used to be like 12. Almost
crap.
every stage had one, and then they weaned them down a lot.
Oh wow, yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, no, I was like, I had a bunch of characters I was super close to unlocking, and then they like made them ultra rare. So now I can't even it's just a slog to get the remaining characters.
Yeah, it's been a real bummer for me to try to get some characters here. I have 4 total, so
yeah, no, you're gonna be using those for a long time. Even when it wasn't balanced, it still took a while before you actually like lost someone.
Mm-hmm.
They just made it so much worse. Or like the blue slot took me the longest to fill. Basically, like it took forever to get a better blue character. And then I got Sonic, who you get for doing the achievements, and he's insanely good, but he's really hard to actually get pieces for, because other than like one stage in the story mode, everything you get for him is either random chance in the chest you get, or you get an achievement.
Oh,
which is how you'll unlock him in the first place, honestly.
God damn it. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't even remember who my blue is right now.
Axe Battler. It is always Axe
right.
Battler, Death Adder, Blaze from Streets of Rage, and Amy.
You didn't get oh my god, I can't remember his name now. The monkey ball guy?
Oh, sorry, you get II as well. I forgot about II. But basically,
yeah.
you stop using II as soon as you get Death
right
Adder.
away. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yep. Because he's so much better. Like, Death Adder is still in my team. That's how good he is.
Yeah. Yeah, no, he's real good, but like he's the only real good one in my team currently. He's S tier, and then like I would say Blaze is A tier probably for me right now.
Blaze, because of her ability where she gets like an extra damage if you're starting early. That makes her really good. She's still in my team, but I'm gonna replace her with Shadow soon.
Okay. Yeah.
Once I get Shadow strong enough, anyways.
I mean, he has a gun. That makes sense.
Damn it. Sadly, it's just a pain in the ass to get some of those characters leveled up. Like, money becomes a problem later on too, trying to get enough to actually unlock everyone.
Yeah,
and
I can see that.
And level them up rather. Like at this point, I get to do like 2 levels for my entire group of characters a day.
Yeah.
And I have a lot of characters. I have like 24 characters, and it's just like, oh, I get to choose 2 of you to level up today. Good.
And man, they really push the every time I log in. It's
oh my god, they
pack.
really want you to spend money.
Yeah.
I got one today. It's like, hey, here's like a 10 times deal because you're past level 30.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And then it's like, but this is only limited for the next like 5 hours.
Yeah, I hate it so much, dude. But I'm committed at this point. That's the problem.
Totally. Yeah. Yeah, that thing's irritating, but it's fun. That's the annoying part, is that those types of games are fun because they're just match 3, and those are always usually just a good like brainless activity. And it has like the coding of characters that I grew up with. So that's why I'm into it. Ugh, I hate it so much.
They were smart.
They were smart, yeah. Okay, so moving on, I started playing Darksiders 3 this week.
All right, how is this? It's been years since the last Darksiders.
Yeah, so a lot of people, I found out, because I've been streaming this, hate this fucking game. But I think it's actually pretty fun. So, let me explain to you my like position here. Darksiders 1 was one of my favorite Legend of Zelda type games ever. Like, I really, really liked how that game played and handled and everything. I don't think it probably handles good anymore, because that was kind of a place in time years and years ago, and gaming's gotten better since. Darksiders 2, I wasn't a huge fan of, and this plays more like that, but the people making Darksiders 3 definitely were on, like, a Dark Souls kick, because their level design is a lot of that stuff, like a lot of weird just ambush stuff where things will jump on you and just like weird little tricks to try to fuck you over and stuff. And I kind of like that dumb stuff. Like, I kind of like the like we hate you level designing stuff that the Souls games have, and this has a lot of that stuff. And then of course, like, the comparison to Dark Souls is always just like so trite anyways, but because every game kind of goes with the system now of you gain an item of some sort for killing enemies, you give that item to a person to get stronger or to increase your weapon damage or whatever. This does all that same stuff as well, but it's really in the way the levels are designed and kind of like the pacing of how you go through them that feels like a Souls game with kind of mixed with a hack and slash, and I kind of like that about it. I can see why people hate that, because it doesn't upfront tell you it is going to fuck you, basically. Like, it's one of the games that if you don't know how to dodge at the right time all the time, you are going to die on any difficulty, and it's kind of crazy.
Even easy?
So there is a story mode version, like an easy mode, but I'm playing on the normal, which is like, if there were 4 tiers of difficulty, easy would be, say, like tier 1. I'm playing tier 2, so there's 2 harder difficulties, and I am getting screwed, like, so often in that game. Mainly because, and this is my biggest gripe with it, is the dodge timing feels off. All of the animation priority goes to the enemies at all times, meaning any damage you take or any time you're hit, it's an interrupt, which includes, like, if you don't get the frame perfect dodge timing down. And it's kind of off by, like, maybe, like, half a second or a couple frames, so it feels bad. Like, I would say the timing feels bad, like they didn't properly optimize it or something like that, or they didn't give you enough iframes during the dodge to make it feel okay. So it's this weird, like, learning curve of when this thing happens, you have to kind of press it, like, right after the tell instead of just, like, within, like, maybe a second of the tell. It's fucking kind of lazy in that way. But, like, the thing is that after playing for about 4 hours, I have that timing down for the most part. So now I just have to worry about what the tells are for the different enemies. So now it's a different sort of problem game for me. And it's at the problem where I can, like, it's accessible now for me. But, like, the first hour was just me being like, what the fuck, dude? Like, I pushed the goddamn button and just, like, yelling at it. But, I got past that hump, I think. Like, I think my brain is trained now to do the thing. And, like, the boss... So the idea is that you're playing Fury, one of the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. And I kind of like the way they went with that, because having, like, pestilence and stuff, like, how do you even do some of the, like, actual horsemen? I like that they went with, like, Fury and, I can't remember what the other one they have is now.
Well, I was gonna say, so far it's been War and Death.
War and Death, yeah. So the other 2 generally were
War, Famine, Pestilence, and
Famine
Plague.
and Pestilence. Like, how do you do Famine and Pestilence, like, properly, right? So they kind of changed it. They took liberties with it, and I kind of like the way they did it. So you play Fury, one of the horse people, the horsemen of the apocalypse, and the
people of the apocalypse. Got it.
She is so fucking angry. She is real angry. Not Asura's Wrath for, like, type of angry, because that's
not even War angry, because War was pretty angry from when I remember that game.
She's way angrier than War.
That's impressive.
Yeah, she is much, much angrier than War. And, like, yeah, I don't know. I kind of like the character design and stuff. Her task now is that she was called by the council or whatever to go round up the 7 deadly sins. So it's basically just like going from world to world and then a boss fight with one of the sins at the end. And all of the sins, while very cool in design, are kind of boring fights. And that's a bummer. The boss fights are basically just like a bigger, badder version of like a normal mob almost that you would get.
Oh,
like
no, really?
They're designed differently, and they designed like in the way, like, I guess from the aesthetic level, they're designed properly to represent what their like thing is. But the actual fights are, I think it was Wrath. The Wrath fight is basically just like consistently attack him and dodge at the right time and you'll win. The fight with Envy was basically just like dodge her attacks, and then when there's an opening, just go crazy. Like, it's basically just dodge, attack for a minute, then dodge for all of them. And that sucks. Like, it sucks that they didn't have a gimmick each that you had to like overcome or something, that they were basically just a normal enemy with a big health bar. Yeah, I don't know. Because that's the thing about Dark Souls that like people forget, is that the reason why it feels like you overcome bosses is because they usually have a thing to like you could just hack and slash at them, but they usually have a thing you try to exploit, and you feel like you've like overcome them. In this, it just feels like an endurance trial of this thing has more health than the other enemies, so I will be doing this longer, and then I will get a cutscene as a reward. And it just, I don't know. There's a shallow victory in it, but everything else I'm liking. I like the story and like find the big like conspiracy that's happening and setting up the horsemen and all that sort of stuff, and obviously stuff I won't talk about in case people want to play it and learn more about what's actually going on in that story. But yeah, it's one of those games I think that I would recommend as long as you like combat focused things, first of all, because it's a lot of just like the same stuff and like timing windows for dodges and stuff like that. So you have to know that it's not like Darksiders 1. Just get it out of your mind that Darksiders 1 will ever happen again, because at this point I don't think it will, and that's too bad because that's my favorite. But like, by setting that expectation, I think you're all just continuously letting yourself down anytime any Darksiders stuff comes up at this point. But yeah, if you want kind of like a jankier feeling at first, but faster moving Souls hack and slash type thing, I think this might be up your alley. And then of course, like, it's really nice looking in a lot of spots, and the voice acting's on point and all that stuff. So all that stuff is great. It's just I could understand why people would bounce off of it, for sure. And that's kind of too bad. But yeah, I don't have a whole lot more to say about Darksiders 3, so let's move on to news.
All right. So what's going on in the gaming news this week?
Yeah, a lot of these are pulled from Discord because, frankly, Shauna is usually the guy that keeps a tab on the news, mainly because that's his just like where his career and stuff is anyway. And also, I don't usually look up news stuff because I don't care until we talk about it, and then I figure all this stuff out. So a lot of these are pulled from the Discord. First one here. John Romero's next project is Sigil, a successor to Ultimate Doom's 4th episode. So, yeah. Apparently, a Megawad due February 19th is coming out for Ultimate Doom. New episode. And that seems neat. I'm just looking at screenshots right now, and that game always looks better than I remember it looking. Because I always remember in my mind playing that game on the Super Nintendo and being super disappointed with how it looked. And like,
yeah, no, this next one's not exactly held in high regard.
Yeah, no. Like, looking at the actual PC version of Ultimate Doom and like the older Dooms, man, they look good still in their own weird nostalgic way. I don't know if I'll play this myself, mainly because I haven't played like Ultimate Doom since, oh god, I don't even know, since it was basically released. So behind the times on it, but I think that's neat, and that John Romero's still stuck in the past, basically. I really
But people
like
will still play it, so he's not
for sure.
wrong.
For sure. Next up, I did see a little bit of this on Twitter. I'm hoping maybe you can give me some more information about it. But Street Fighter V brings back Evil Ryu as Kage.
Oh no! Well, this is a different Evil Ryu now. This is not the Evil Ryu.
Right. It's like a mix of Evil Ryu and something else, right? Like it's basically his Evil Ryu Hado just like in a personified new form.
So it kind of, you have to kind of get the story of Street Fighter V for it. Like the whole point of 5 is that he's like fighting against the Hado and he like resisting being Evil Ryu and shit like that.
Yeah.
So what happens is this is like a manifestation of what he's thrown away. So it's basically like a puppet or a shadow of his evil self running around. So this exists at the same time that Ryu actually exists.
Okay, so Evil Ryu is still like not in him, but like that's actually just Evil Ryu. This is a whole different character.
This is like the energy that would make him Evil Ryu, basically.
Right.
I know it's really fucking stupid. It's so stupid, dude.
Okay.
A lot of people make fun of Street Fighter V for a reason. That is one of them.
So, does he just play like Ryu, like straight up?
Pretty close. He's got a Shoryuken. He's got a fireball. He's got it kind of looked like a Tatsu. It might be different though.
Okay.
Well, there's no might be. It does look different because it looks like it just does one hit.
I saw him teleporting around in like a
the best way to describe him now is I think he's just like part Akuma and part Ryu.
Okay.
Because like one of his like V triggers is now he can teleport. Yeah. And like he like do like the slicing down move that Akuma has.
He plays like a mix of Oni and Evil Ryu from Street Fighter IV.
You know what? That's actually the better description of it. Yeah.
When you say it that way, that sounds kind of dope, but it looks more like just from video anyway.
It really just looks like Ryu with horns. That's really all it fucking looks like. It's really stupid. His other outfits you get for the character look a lot better than what he has.
Okay. Yeah, man. What a weird thing. What a weird
video games, dude. Also, apparently, they're not doing a season pass this time around, so you actually have to buy these guys separately. Or use fight money in game to unlock them.
Right. Which takes like a bunch of time to get, right?
It takes a long time, yeah.
Yeah. Unless you're like, I'm sure the people that are, you know, their job is to play these on the internet could probably just justify it because it's content. But
yeah, I remember playing a lot of the old single player mode in that game to unlock one character.
Oh no.
Yeah, and I don't even remember if I actually did unlock that character or not. That's how interesting Street Fighter V was to me.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, so it is actually a different character. Like, I was wondering why they're just like, why is Evil Ryu here being called something different? But now I understand. Kind of. Like, it makes sense at least now. I don't know. I think that could be okay. We don't have enough clones of Ryu, is the thing. We just need more.
Shoto. We just need more Shoto.
Yeah, exactly. Do you think this is in response at all to how big Dragon Ball FighterZ was? They're trying to go more anime?
Yeah, a little bit.
Right?
I think Z showed up and kind of ate a lot of their lunch money.
Oh, totally.
Or lunch in general. There's also rumors there's a Marvel vs. Capcom 4 in the works now, or like at least a rebranding of Infinite. So I don't know. That's another thing where I'm like, I don't know if I want that.
I'm real glad I didn't buy Infinite now that you say that.
I don't know if, like I said, I don't know if it's real, but that's like a couple of my fighting games friends were like, yeah, this is what we've been hearing. Whether or not it's actually true is a different story, but
man, that would be kind of cool. Yo, you know what they should do though? Just put out Marvel vs. Capcom 2 again. Like just
they've done
release
that so many times already.
I'm okay with it. Get people playing that again that aren't just the grandmasters. I can't play that game because if I go online, the only people playing it are the people that have not stopped playing it. So, yeah.
You know that you don't play other video games if you get into a fighting game. That's just how it works.
It is. That's true. That's always been my problem with fighting games, is that I love them, but I don't have the motivation to dedicate my life to one. You know?
That's fair.
The bummer. Next up, Final Fantasy VII Remake director and producer tease more news to come in 2019. So this is kind of a non-story saying, hey, remember that thing you want info on? It's coming later.
So I pretty much called this. I said as soon as Kingdom Hearts 3 is done, you're going to start seeing him tease about it. And sure enough, Kingdom Hearts 3 is done.
Yep. According to the interview, Nomura said his keyword for 2019 is 7. And went on to say that more information will be released.
Oh, God, I hate this so much. I kind of wish this remake didn't exist because this is so stupid. Yeah. I wish they kept this under wraps, which they should have done.
For Kitase, his keyword is long awaited. God, I sometimes hate this.
My keyword is I hate this.
Yeah. My keyword is please stop. Telltale's The Walking Dead will conclude on PC for the Epic Game Store, so it is coming exclusively, if you haven't jumped on yet, to the Epic Games Store, because Epic is signing all those deals and they're giving the good deals to people.
That feels a little skeezy, doesn't it?
No, because it says here in the news that if you've already bought the thing, you'll get it on whatever platform you bought it on.
Okay, all right, that's better. Yeah. All right.
It's kind of like if you're just going to jump on to, like, see all of that. Like, they'll release probably the full edition on the Epic Game Store and then, like, whatever. But, yeah, no, if you've already paid money for it, then you'll get it wherever. Yeah. So, there you go. When is that again? January 15th. So that's the date. That's the day we will know how that story ends once and for all. Thank God. Thank God. Travis Strikes Again DLC, Season Pass pricing, and voice cast fully detailed. I did have this page up because I was interested in reading more of it, but then I accidentally closed it, so I'll quickly open it here. Okay, so DLC Volume 1 Black Dandelion scheduled release will be February 28th, 2019. The new playable character will be Shinobu Jacobs, and Batman version ADV part.
Yeah, that's the only thing I don't know what those mean.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's very true. DLC Volume 2, Bubblegum Fatale. I really like that name. That is so good.
Yeah, that's such a pseudonym for something, isn't it?
It's so good. Yeah. Scheduled release for that is April 30th, 2019, and the new playable character is Bad Girl. Additional stage will be Killer Marathon. So, yeah.
There you go.
Some info.
They also announced the voice cast, and it's pretty much just the people who already voiced those characters anyways.
Yeah, pretty much.
I think the only big difference was Steve Bloom is Batman, and they announced some other boss character that I do not remember the name of currently. But yeah, like Travis's VA is the same, Shinobu's VA is the same.
Yep.
And I think Bad Girls was also the same.
Yep. Did you hear about this Spider-Man Raimi suit?
Oh my God, this is so stupid. This is the stupidest fucking thing.
So apparently there was some outrage about the Raimi suit was like talked and whispered and rumored about for a long time coming in DLC, and then it just wasn't announced after all the DLC was like the third and final thing for the Spider-Man 2018 on PS4 DLC was announced, and the Raimi suit wasn't there, and people lost their shit apparently. I think the Raimi suit looks stupid, so I didn't understand why they were so mad about it, but apparently that's coming now. That
I mean, it got people into Spider-Man, so I can see why they were excited about it.
I guess so. Yeah, it's hard when you don't have nostalgia for the thing to see why people would care, I guess. Like, because I don't have nostalgia for the Raimi stuff, really. But, yeah, I'm sure was somebody's, like, first introduction to Spider-Man, and to not have that is kind of, like, shitty. But you know what's even shittier? Fucking harassing the people that made the game.
Yep, this is the big deal that's been about this. Apparently, people went on a rampage and shit on Insomnia
Yeah.
Or Insomniac rather, and just kind of treated them like absolute garbage.
Yeah.
And it ends up a week later, they announced the fucking thing was coming. And
Yeah.
apparently they just couldn't mention it before because of contract issues. So fuck everyone. Because some people are going to think that their complaining actually worked and actually got them that suit.
Yeah, it's so irritating. People don't realize, like, these NDAs and contract stuff and behind the scenes stuff, how, like, you can get fucked if you break anything like that. Like, so, of course so they have to sit there and take your shit, like, random straw man I'm talking to for this argument that I know isn't any of our listeners, because our listeners aren't absolute dipshits, but they have to sit there and listen to your shit, even though they're working on the thing that you're yelling at them for. Like, it's so irritating. Good lord. And it's not even that cool of a suit. Have you seen the suits in that game? They're amazing.
There are so many good suits in that game. I'm curious what power that suit's going to have. I hope it better have the spider dance. If it doesn't have that dance, I'm not in. You'll be all played for no reason.
It better have an American flag show up in the background anytime he's on a rooftop.
And then the freaking what group is it that did the song? That did Hero?
Oh my god.
Nickelback. Yeah, Nickelback has to start playing in the background.
Yeah.
Anytime like you start swinging instead of the impressive like orchestral music.
Oh hey, my buddy. God. Oh my god. I would actually pay for that as a separate DLC. Holy shit. I guess, like, just to bring this back around to us, I've been replaying Spider-Man because of that DLC. I've finally started to I'm about to start digging into that DLC, but I wanted to wrap up the last little bit for the 100% file and get kind of back used to how that game plays. And man, you lose how fast that game plays if you haven't played it for a couple months. It's pretty quick, but yeah, I'm at the point where I'm gonna finally look into that DLC, and I am super stoked for it. And I guess I'll get that Raimi suit now. So yeah. And the last thing I have here is a Steam sale has started.
Hooray!
They've been rolling it out all day today. There is absolutely nothing I wanted on it, but I got Yakuza 0 on chrono.gg for $10.
Well done.
So
good choice.
I was stoked because I was actually thinking a couple days ago how I wanted to check that game out still, but I didn't want to pay the full price, and didn't have to today. I was pretty happy about that purchase.
Hooray.
I think the thing they're doing this month, or this seasonal thing or whatever, is if you use Steam, there is a little picture of a cottage as the background. Bagel.
Yeah. Yeah, keep going.
And if you click on it, it'll bring you to kind of a like an advent calendar style page where, depending on the day, you'll click a thing to open up like little windows, and you'll get some like garbage basically in your Steam inventory, like a wallpaper or some emoticons or whatever. So yeah, make sure you click that cottage and check your daily Steam advent calendar, I guess, if you want a bunch of little things.
I love garbage.
Oh, trust me, I'm aware. I know how much you love it.
Oh yeah, that's the best. Right, buddy? Right, my perch cat?
All right, and that will do it for the news this week. Not a whole hell of a lot else going on. So we'll move on to questions.
Hooray. TopDownPerspective@gmail.com, TDP Podcast on Twitter, Top Down Perspective on Facebook, and also my P.O. Box and also the Discord.
Yes. I will start off here with Hayes AC writing in and saying, don't know if you talked about the Soulja Boy tried to sell a game console recently. My question is, which artist/celebrity would you like to have his or her own game console?
William Shatner.
Shatner's pretty good.
Shatner, but it has it has to have his inflection for everything, that every menu.
Yeah.
Like options.
Yeah.
Email. Your game is Tetris.
I'm going to say Nicolas Cage.
Oh, that's another good one too.
Yeah. I don't know what it would be called, but I just know that he would say weird shit to you anytime you did anything in the OS, and I think that would be so good. Also, his whole movie library would be already installed on the hard drive.
Exactly. I would watch Drive Angry again. Hell yeah.
Yeah. I want to see Mandy so bad. Maybe this weekend. Oh wait, this is Christmas weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh fuck it. I'll probably watch Mandy this weekend.
Yeah, I'll do it anyways.
Yeah, exactly. You got the next one here?
I will in a second.
Okay.
That was Hayes's. Next up is Bakesler. During this semester, my professor of media and pop culture brought up video games and how they have gotten some people to cry. He then asked my class if anyone has played a game that got us to cry. About a third of the class of 50 students, including myself, raised their hands. That got me wondering, what was the first video game that got you to cry, and which game got you to cry harder than any other game you've ever played? For them, their first game that they cried at was Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Explorers of Time / Darkness / Sky. The game that got me to cry the hardest was either Mother 3 or The Last of Us.
So, for me, with media, it's easier to get me incensed and angry about a situation than it is to cry. Where, like, when something sad happens, I get mad at the people in that situation for not doing better or something. So, I don't know if a game has made me cry. Probably the closest would be, and I say this every time something like this comes up, is the end of Metal Gear Solid 3 is just so... It was such a punch in the gut of, like... Just, there was no bad guy, like, this whole time, except for, like, the crazy psychopaths who are just, like, murderers anyway. But, like, the bad guy you thought was there was, like, not the bad guy that was actually happening. It was just, like, dumb shit, and
it was the government.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's the government for sure, but it's... I don't know, the way that was presented, that might have been the closest, but I don't generally cry in video games.
I wouldn't say like anything's made me cry either, but the game that's made me feel the saddest is probably the ending of Metal Gear Solid 4.
Yo, I'm so glad they remember the teasers of Snake putting a gun in his mouth.
Yeah.
Like, what a weird red herring to put out there. Weird. Yeah, that game... Those games have a weird emotional resonance that they don't deserve.
I almost feel it's cheating, though, since those are practically movies anyways.
Yeah, totally. Totally. I think the Mother 3 example is good. I've heard The Last of Us one a bunch of times from different people. I'm sure there's... I always felt sad... but, like, not in a crying way, anytime you take down any Colossus in Shadow of the Colossus.
I was going to say, halfway through Shadow of the Colossus, when you start seeing what's going on with Wanderer, that kind of got me a bit, too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
SK Weeb, with all these lawsuits for dance moves in Fortnite. I think
we didn't talk about that in the news.
Yeah. The Carlton dance, which
the Carlton dance
from Monica from Friends. I can't remember her name.
Wait, really? I thought Fresh Prince came out before Friends.
Yeah, no, but the Courtney Cox, she was in a Bruce Springsteen music video when she was much younger, and she did like kind of a weird arm wavy dance, and that's kind of what he based the Carlton dance off of. So,
oh, interesting.
Yeah, I know, it's crazy, right?
I know that the floss dance is also another one, and there's a third one I can't remember.
Is it?
There's at least 3 dances right now that are suing Fortnite.
Man, if they lose the floss, they just lost all of TikTok. What are you gonna do now?
I didn't even think of that. It's hilarious.
When TikTok isn't on your side, it's against you, and you don't want them against you. I think this may cause a chain reaction of older and new... Wait, with all these lawsuits and dance moves for Fortnite, think this may cause a chain reaction of older and newer games to remove their dances in fear of lawsuits?
I don't think older games will get sued, especially ones that aren't active anymore. Like, the reason Fortnite is getting sued is because it is so big.
Yeah, totally. Yep. But no, I think what this does is the potential to add a new layer of red tape that developers have to go through, and then they can't announce that a cool thing is happening, and then you'll yell at them for it not being there.
So basically, it's just going to be the Raimi suit again.
Basically, but for dances. Great. The Raimi dance. Oh, man.
I can't wait for the Raimi dance.
I can't wait for it either. Spider-Man, the Raimi dance, make it happen, Insomniac, or I will yell at you. Because that's how we get things done here on the internet. The Wild West.
Don't make me be a complainer. I'm bad at that, and you'll hate it.
Don't make me be a complainer.
Yep.
All right. Do you have this next one?
I do. VGC Kenny writes in and says, what are some of your favorite exclusive video games? I will allow exclusive at the time, such as Banjo-Kazooie and Crash Bandicoot, but not timed exclusive like Tomb Raider or Crash Insane Trilogy.
Sure.
Mario 2,
the Zelda
Mario
games.
3. Yeah, pretty much anything Nintendo's put out are pretty like a high list of that.
That's why I buy Nintendo consoles.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because I know it won't be on anything else. I really liked Gears of War. Like, I know how dumb that series is, but that's part of what I like about it.
Yeah, no, I'm for Gears as well, so I'm with you on that.
For PlayStation, PlayStation has a lot of stuff I just can't think about right now. But like for this year alone, Spider-Man was huge for me. That was really good.
God of War.
God of War I really liked as well.
Uncharted.
Yeah, the Uncharted series. I'm sure there's like a whole bunch I just can't think of for Sony right now. Shadow of the Colossus from the chat. That's a really good suggestion. I really like that one. Yeah. Final question from Rasterman7. So many things have been happening in my life recently and was wondering, can you recall a moment in yours that you would consider a turning point? You can interpret it as you wish and don't need to go into detail if you don't want to. A turning point.
I can think of like a bunch of weird situations that I got thrown into that made me change how my like path was going. That's about it.
Sure, yeah. Like a turning point. A big turning point for me was moving from, I lived in Airdrie, and then like moving to Calgary, I think was a huge turning point.
Moving in general. So like my move from like Newfoundland to here was big.
Huge, yeah.
Graduating university was a big like shock as well.
Yeah.
Just a lot of things like that.
I'm sure we all have a bunch of turning points that are terrible that we don't want to talk about, so we won't.
Also got tons of those. Oh, so many of those.
So we can skip over that and focus on the more positive ones. Turning point. Yeah, pretty much just the standard stuff. I guess like the big one for anybody would be if you're relocating somewhere, like moving somewhere. Like that's a different city at least, I would say. Not like a different community. Although, depending on your situation, even a different community could be better or worse, I suppose. Honestly, for, I'm sure you and I, the internet, just in general, becoming as big as it did, was a huge turning point in our lives. Because I remember not using the internet for most of my life until I was older. In fact, it was only used for school purposes until, like, I don't know, grade 10 or 11 or something. Like,
yeah, around 99, 2000 is when I got a computer and started, like, doing gaming and stuff and going on forums.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Oh, also gaming. Like, getting a video game console for the first time and stuff, like, obviously shaped of a lot of who we are, us two, personally. So, yeah. That's a weird thing about life, is that it's actually just a whole lot of turning points that kind of like form this weird amalgamation of good and crap.
It's a circle of life.
It is the circle of life. That's what The Lion King is actually about. So, yeah.
It's about a million microtransgressions that eventually make Simba into a human being.
And a billion microtransactions as well.
Exactly. I love that part of Lion King where he takes out his dad's credit card.
Yeah.
Then realizes it's been canceled because his dad died a horrible death, and now he has to become an adult to get his own credit status, so he can actually buy what he always wanted.
Do you want to save Nala? All you need to give me is your dad's credit card number and the 3 wacky digits on the back.
Oh my God! Attention, all Lion Kings.
Yeah. All right, let's go ahead and call that a show for the week. So
works for me.
We did it. We did it without you, Sean. We don't need you. But please come back.
Please. Yeah, please. Dear God.
Games of the week.
Smash.
Yeah, Darksiders 3 for sure. A little bit of housekeeping before I turn it off here. The poll for January's TDP Plus game will be up soon if it isn't already, because I don't know what Sean's plan for that is. He's the one that usually worries about that, and I will let him continue worrying about that. That seems like a thing he can do probably tomorrow, I would assume. So, like, if you're hearing this after Friday the 21st and it's not up, maybe send us a tweet, because I think it should be up tomorrow.
I still have to pick my game for it, so that might slow down.
Okay, fair enough. And, I guess most importantly is that you'll hear us next time after Christmas, so have a very, very happy holidays. Be safe out there, and don't do anything we wouldn't do here, I guess.
Don't do snow, kids.
Don't do snow.
Exactly.
Exactly right. Yeah, so we'll see you guys next week. I believe Sean will be with us in some capacity, even though he will be in Canada.
Yeah, we might even be in person. You never know.
Yeah, I don't know we have no idea what we're doing next week, so
we kind of wing these shows, as you can tell.
Yeah, we really, really do. We started this one like 2 hours later than normal, so
and we ended way sooner too.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time.
Night, everybody.